Good morning, guys. Happy Sunday morning. Gambino here. Thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, CK Acres. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think me too. That it's the autofill when you when I type in @ you came up and I came up and I hit the enter key real quick and I said hello to myself. Hey, the Dirts, how you doing? Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. Good afternoon for you. Morning for me. And us here in the East Coast of the United States. The beautiful Challenger. I really love that livery, man. This is like the standard Challenger livery. I think it's my favorite of all the ones that come with it. But more and more and more, I'm falling in love with this plane. It's a joy to fly. The only thing is I have to spend some time working on the startup procedures. I was playing with it a little bit last night, and it's just I need to spend time to learn how to do it correctly. I know John Flight's got a good video on how to start it up, when he had a real pilot in his Twitch stream with him, helping him out, and I know I'll get it. I just have to learn how to do it, and it's not as easy, obviously, as starting up a C172. So there's systems you have to initiate and stuff, and it's my goal to do that. But today we're going to be starting warm and lit as opposed to cold and dark. And I bought this plane for my personal account last week, 1.1 million, paid for it. And been flying it back from South America, where I bought it, back to the US. And we're gonna get her back there real quick. So let me just get my music off here. VRA broadcasting 24/7. Yeah, right, Crash. We've got the whole gamut covered. He looked like a deer in the headlights. Yeah, I was watching that video last night when he was starting this plane up. I'm sure he's mastered it by now, but it's, it takes a little bit to get it started up, and you want to make sure you do it right so you don't have a mid-air failure. But in any event, I do love flying this plane. Andy, how you doing? Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate you hanging out. But I think it's like Wednesday in the Dirt's country by now. Yeah. So anyway, let me show you what we got here today. We're again, I bought this plane last week. Somewhere in South America, and I've been flying it up north from central South America, somewhere in Brazil, and finding pretty decent cargo jobs for it. So I've actually made about 150,000 so far flying it to where I am now, which is San Salvador in FSEconomy. But today we're going to bring her back to the U.S., where it's going to be her home. Her home's going to be in the Northeast, although it'll probably be a bit of a rogue airplane because, it's got the range, and the money in this plane is cargo on FSEconomy. You really can't make too much money on the passenger side because it only fits 8 passengers, and the gas burn is kind of tough. Although if you do own the plane, it's a lot more lucrative, but still, when you get booking fees and all that stuff, it just eats into your FSEconomy profits. And so cargo is the way to go. And I actually had one huge cargo run where flew from the tip of South America up into the islands here. It was like $28,000 cargo run. And maybe I could show you. This one right here. Was this it? Yeah. So you can see here, I actually had to do 2 stops. I started at I started at TKPK. No, it started at TFFR. Yeah, it took her to TKPK, refueled, and then took her to San Salvador. But it was I mean, the profit on cargo with this plane when you own it is pretty amazing. Look at this, $28,000 income, and I netted 25.8. So only $3,000 went, and it's tremendous. As long, you know, even if you're stopping for gas, you know, take out, I think I paid like $3,000 for fuel. It's still really good. So in any event, it's a great plane for cargo runs in FS economy. So we're starting at San Salvador. We're going to be crossing the water here by the BVIs. Hey, CK Acres, thanks for the follow, man. Appreciate that. Thanks for joining Bambino VR. And we're going to hit Florida coast right here at Vero Beach. And then we'll work our way up north to Jacksonville. And I've got the waypoints here just to get us lined up with, I think it's 3-6 right at Jacksonville. Going to fly at 32,000 feet. That's where I've been flying this plane. According to Megaphone, who has been kind of my mentor on this plane, getting started with it, he says that 41 to 45,000 is the most economical gas-wise. Takes a lot to get up that high, so 32,000, I find that it's you know, pretty damn economical. So actually, I've been keeping. See, I thought I had to follow you. Oh, okay, no, it's okay. I appreciate the follow though. Appreciate the follow. I've been keeping track of fuel usage in this plane. You know, this is before I realized flying at higher altitudes was better. And I was flying at 12,000. Once I moved up, you could see the difference in gallons used. I went from, you know, almost 1.1 gallons per nautical mile used to like 8.4, and then always under 1. But I do this because I have a reference point. If I'm doing a job, I can generally find a similar situation in mileage and cargo, and as I keep track of this, it'll just help me make sure I have enough fuel. You can see this one here, kind of cutting it close. I landed with 14 gallons of fuel. I remember on the approach, I was like, oh, I'm gonna make it. But like 10 minutes before, as I'm climbing, as I'm descending, I'm like, oh, I don't know if this is gonna work out. That was my closest call. I had a couple of 32s and a 58, but 14 is pretty close. Yeah, 13 more than needed. But yeah, so I figured I was on the glide slope into the runway, so I could glide in if something happened. But that's cutting it a little too close. I really don't want to do that. I think you always want to have at least 100 gallons when you land, just because you never know what's going to happen. You know, something you have to vector around or whatever. So anyway, this has been helpful. And today I've got 560 miles, 72 in cargo. We're going to be flying at 32,000, and the cruise speed is around 270. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. And my guess is, you know, I could probably fit, if you look here, we've got here's one where we did, where's kind of a big one. Here's something that's comparable. I guess this is comparable. So 610, we put 830 in the tank, and we had 223 left. So I'm probably gonna put like 700 in the tank, and I should be just fine. Because, you know, I'll probably fly at probably just about 1, maybe under 1. So should be good. Anyway, I thought it would be kind of cool to keep track of this and help me out. So we'll put 710 in there just to be safe. I think I could fit 710 in there, and we'll be good to go. So that's the fuel. So this is the route, and what we're taking here is we're going from, again, San Salvador, Bahamas, to Jacksonville, Florida, Cecil, Jacksonville. It's literally 560 with turns and stuff, and got the old Bombardier Challenger 300. Beautiful plane. All right, so let's refuel it now. Let's put, tell you what, let's just put 720 gallons, 725. Hey, listen, the fuel's in there. It's mine. I'll always use it, so it's not like we have to worry about that. So we might as well make it 750. It's always good to have more fuel. All right, so we should be absolutely fine with fuel. Okay. This plane is really nice on frames. Knock on wood. You can see I've got my 4-flight air server thing going. That usually with some of the planes I really can't do that because the frame rates are so low that it just eats things up. But for some reason, this plane very efficient even in the cockpit. So yeah, so it's pretty cool. Anyway, so I've already got this flight plan saved. I've got to load it into the FMS, and we'll get underway here. So let's get inside the bird. One thing I have to do is, for some reason, chat went away here. So let me get myself situated here, and I'm going to pull chat into the window. Let's see where we want to put that right there. Beautiful. All right. Let's see. So let me get FMS in there. Let me show you that. X-plane window so you can see the FMS. This is real simple. I just go route menus. I'm still learning this thing. I've got stream plan set up, so I just basically load that and make sure everything is cool there. Let's see, next page. So we're going slides to IPs off, Rogue Ski to Ace TI. I'm just comparing it to the 4-flight. OJank, and then to QV. Sorry, KVQQ. So we're good to go. All right, close that. All right, I'm gonna get FSEconomy going here, so don't forget to do that. And just double checking, that's all good. Now we close that. All right, so we've got let's see, we want to set our bleeds to open and APU off. APU off.
APU is already off.
Let's go to nav FMS. We'll put our nav on. We're going to set altitude 32,000.
Altitude 32,000 feet.
We're going to go vertical speed, and we'll climb it initially at 2,000, and I'll lower that just so we keep the speed as we go up. All right, that's good. Got our flight plan in. We've got everything set here. We can set our flaps on the runway. We're going to taxi and get this bird off the ground. So, without further ado, here we go. I love this plane. I really do. D.D. Den, the designer, should be complimented on a great job with this plane, in VR especially. Very functional in VR. All right, soon we assume we have clearance. There she is. Beautiful. What a beautiful plane. I'm so glad I bought this plane. Really am. It's nice. All right. Yeah, if you look on upper left-hand corner, it shows you the flight plan, and we're taking off at San Salvador. That's basically for flight. So we're taking off San Salvador and we're going to Jacksonville.
Approaching runway 10. Entered runway 10. 6,100 feet remaining.
Why am I... Yeah, I think I really want to be going the other way, don't I? Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We'll have to spin her around, but we'll do that. No, that was that's actually the flight telling me which runway we're on. Oh, in the yeah, I don't know why. It's basically got the it's direct to the first waypoint. I'm not sure why, Steve. Gotcha. Well, it's okay. We should be fine. All right, so everything is loaded here, and we are good to go. So let's get this bird off the ground here. And we might, I'm not sure if we're going to have an issue with flaps. Hopefully we don't. Oh, let me put them down. Yeah, it doesn't like the flaps, so we should get off the ground.
Configuration.
Here we go.
Configuration.
Looking for 116 V1.
Configuration.
And rotate. I can't remember if I have ortho here or not. I think I do, actually. Kind of giving the passengers a bit of a jostle. Autopilot on?
Autopilot on.
Climbing up to 32,000. Yeah, pretty sure it is. Too much flap set. Yeah, probably right. Probably right. Still learning the plane, Steve. Stev, I guess it's Stev. Thanks for joining the stream, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, that's. I'm pretty sure I did ortho all the way down here, but.
Overspeed.
Oh.
Overspeed. Overspeed. Overspeed.
Not paying attention to that.
Overspeed. Overspeed. Overspeed.
Doesn't have auto throttle, and I know it has an auto throttle capability as far as the
Overspeed.
override on the software, but I have not been able to get that to work. So I've just been managing the speed manually. It's so much fun to fly and easy to land. I mean, once I, kind of did it about a dozen times, it became easy to land. But it's a really fun plane to fly. Again, I really want to spend time learning the systems and be proficient on this jet before I move on to any other jet, so I can, operate it from cold and dark. That's the goal. All right, we got an open water flight here. Get it up to about 70%, and what I generally do is lower the rate of climb as we go up, just to keep the speed up, and so I don't burn too much gas. Put her at 73%. Doesn't take us too long. Yeah, this is my first jet. I mean, aside from flying the Vision jet, or the 550, which are pretty easy to fly, this is my first real FMS system jet. And the Eclipse is easy to fly, though. That's not really. That's more of a GA plane. This is more of a commercial plane. So I guess it's really GA versus commercial. This is my first GA. Yeah, I know about that, Stev. Auto throttle, and I have not been able to get that to function properly. So it's probably me, operator error, and I gotta look into that. So, all right, taking our climb up here. We're gonna have plenty of fuel for the trip, which is great. Not cutting it close with 14 gallons, but that would be over there. We've got, let me see where we are here. I don't know what that is. Little San Salvador. I'm not sure. Oh, it's awesome. This plane is awesome in VR. I'm using Oculus Rift. This is X-Plane 1120 VR3. And with VR3, they made some significant improvements in removing judder. I think it's Gilligan's Island. Yeah, let's see. There's Professor Marianne. I don't think Gilligan's Island was that big, though, B2. I think Gilligan's Island was a little postage stamp. Looks like that's an oil rig out there. Zoom in there, yeah. Gilligan's Island. All right, let's watch our speed. Let's fly the plane. The last time I didn't fly the plane, what happened? I crashed it. Yeah, it was on the West Coast, right? It's always, well, it's California. All right, let me get my rate of descent down here a little bit to... keep the climb up, but keep the speed up. So I like to cruise around 270 once I get to 32,000. Stev, you have both Oculus Rift and HTC Vive? Is that what you mean, or The jets. I'm confused. Oh, Oculus Rift from the Challenger. You haven't tried it yet? Oh, man. You gotta try it, dude. It's unbelievable. You've never tried X-Plane VR and you have a Rift? Oh, you gotta try it. It's gonna blow you away. Once you do it, you're never gonna want to fly 2D again. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Especially now with VR 3, where they fixed the judder problem with the Rift. Oh, you got to try it, man. It's awesome. Can you guys hear the engine sound at all? Do I have that loud enough? I just want it to be faintly kind of like in the background. Oh, VR 3. It's X-Plane 11's release, which is 11.20 VR 3. They started with VR 1. That was the first release, which had a load of problems. Then VR 2 came out. Think the volume's good? Okay, cool, thanks. VR 2 came out, and then we had some issues, and they quickly fixed those issues with VR 3. Just a release of X-Plane. And we're expecting VR 4 actually next week. I'm actually secretly, well, not secretly, but VR 4 is in testing. I have a copy of it, and I've been testing it. It's there's some really cool things in it. So I'll just say that. I can't really say anything else, but I will tell you that it's got some really, really cool enhancements. And I'll leave it at that. I'll say that Rift users are going to be pleased. Let me just say that, because it's pretty cool. Now I'm running VR 3 here. They're expecting, I think Laminar is expecting to release VR 4 sometime next week, once it's through the private testing, which I've tested it for a couple hours so far, and I haven't had any issues with it. You still have the hovering X-Pad and the hovering what do you call it, touch controller, like you see there, okay? But usually the touch controller kind of fades away, but they've got to fix that. My PC specs are, it's a i7-6700 CPU, and I'm using a 1080 Ti, EVGA 1080 Ti SC2 card for GPU. 32 gigs of RAM, and all SSD except I have a 6 terabyte WD Black drive for ortho. That's basically my specs. I'm planning on upgrading to i7-8700K. That's my next move. New motherboard and new processor. But for now, I was actually thinking about that. That was when VR 1 came out, the first release of X-Plane VR. And now that it's kind of stabilized and gotten better, the 6700 is actually handling things pretty well. So we'll see. I still would like to upgrade, I think, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, teaser dirts. But I will tell you that it's you got to give it to Laminar. They came out of the gate at Christmas with a VR release that was pretty cool, but had some issues. They listened to people. They worked very hard, and they improved drastically in a month and a half or 2 months. I guess it's been 2 months, their VR release, and it's just getting better and better, and got to hand it to them. It's awesome. You've got a 4790K. Wonder if you can handle it. It might be, it might be a little bit soft for VR and X-Plane. I mean, you could try it if you own X-Plane, you could try it. If you don't own X-Plane, you can download a free version of X-Plane. I'm not sure if you can download the... Yeah, what's your GPU, Stev? GPU is really important, too. Look at that, isn't that cool? Love being up this high. Let me just lower my rate of descent here to 1200. Actually, let's go to 1000. Take our time getting up. We're no hurry. That looks cool down there. Check that out. Yeah, that's definitely ortho. Pretty nice. All right, a couple things I wanted to talk about today. All right, so if you have a 1080 Ti, you should be okay. You should be okay. Although X-Plane is CPU centric, the 1080 Ti is going to help you definitely on the VR side, so you should be fine. All right, so a couple things. Let me get to altitude here, and there's a few things I want to talk about. Andy, thanks for joining the stream, man. I tell you what, man, VR Aviation Group is doing great this month. They're having an excellent, you guys are flying your butts off. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, so I thought, what is it? Is the 4790 a 4-core? Or 2, I guess it's a 2-core, right? Sounds like VR Aviation is the new Weight Watchers then? Yeah, well, I don't know. We're gonna take a look at the numbers in a little bit, B2, and I know you're probably here spying for. No, I'm just kidding. The Spygate, the FSE Spygate is over now. For those of you who don't know, last week, I think it was last weekend, I was accused of. I was not accused, but I was implicated in potentially being a spy when I was part of John Fly's Snack Air group, which is or at least I think it's over. Yeah. I mean, I probably could climb a little faster since I do have the gas to do it. No fear of landing with 10 gallons in the tank. It does have a pretty, fast climbing rate. It's true. You could be spying on every group. Although Snack Air is probably one of the biggest groups. The guys just exploded. We've got, I guess we've probably got about 25 active pilots, which is pretty good for a FSE group. But I think you guys have a lot more than that. But we're making really good strides. Isn't that beautiful? Making very good strides. Go over those numbers in a second. I just want to get the altitude, make sure everything's cool there before I take my eyes off the plane. And be very careful not to touch the throttles or anything like I did the last time. Yeah, 30 active pilots. That's pretty good. That's a lot. Andy being one of the most active. Oh, Andy, thanks for the subscription, man. 3 months in a row. Awesome. I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I do appreciate that. Well, B2, you should join our group, man. We could use a couple of flights a month. Just got to fly one time a month. Take advantage of the planes, meet some new people. Got a very active Discord. Come on and join us. John Fly won't care. It's okay. The Dirt's part of the group. Come on in. Andy, thanks for the subscription, man. Appreciate that. Thank you. All right, we're getting up there now. Almost there. Let me just increase the rate here so we go up to 1300 or 1400. We'll cruise at 270. Show you guys. I'll tell you, the interior of this plane in VR is amazing. Really, really, really nice. It really is nice. And what I love about this plane is I can run air server and show you ForeFlight, so you could see what's going on with the flight, stuff like that. Makes it more interesting, and I still have the frame rate. So you don't fly group planes, group Fbos, just plane. Okay, that's cool. That's fun. Yeah, the Dirt's is part of us. Yeah. OCD gets in the way. I feel bad not running a flight a day for each group plus running supply. Oh, wow. Okay. That's a lot of fun. Okay. Well, I'll give you that. That's cool. It's just good to have you here and chatting. You know, our flight sim enthusiast community is a small, tightly knit community, and it's good that everybody's friendly, and that's what it's all about, you know. Keeping our brains stimulated. In my case, my old brain stimulated. That's why that's one of the reasons why I love this hobby, if you will. Aside from the fact that it gives me the feeling like I'm a real pilot, which I'm not, but, you know, someday maybe. But I get that sense of aviation accomplishment that I've always wanted since I was a little kid, so. 400 hours a month. Wow, that's a lot of flying. I don't think I've done that. Although I've done a lot, but I don't think I've done 400 hours. Uh-oh. That was a weird thing. I think we changed scenery there. Let's see, what island is that? Let's see if we can spot that island. Ethuria Island. That's what that would be right there. Oh no, this one is, sorry. Yeah, Ethuria Island, northern Ethuria. Is it Ethuria? I'm sure I'm pronouncing that incorrectly. I've never been there, so. All right, we reached our cruising altitude of 32,000 feet, and I'm going to set the power so that we're going to run at about 270 and 436 or 435 ground speed. I'm going to try to get that auto throttling working. Hey, Crash, I'm not sure if you're still in the stream, but I did try the NDI plugin on sending the signal from OBS from my gaming PC to my laptop, which I was going to hopefully use as a streaming PC. But when I did that, it worked really well. The problem is my laptop just doesn't have the juice to process everything, so I'm going to stick to one system for now. Alright, so we should be pretty stable there at 270, thereabouts. And we've got about an hour to our destination, so got a little time to talk here. So anyway, a couple things. Let's go over let's do a review of FSEconomy. Let's do that first. All right, so let's take a look at the bank. Oops, sign in. All right, we've got almost 1.1 million in money, saving up for buying a big FBO, hopefully in the Northeast. Take a look at the statement here. We've done 4.7 million in assignment income. Pretty damn good. All right, Andy. Thanks for tuning in, man. Appreciate that. Sorry you're having buffering issues there. Now let me do this. Oh, that should be fine. All right, so we've got our net right now is 1.5 million. This is the number that a contest will be paid on. So 3 lucky winners are going to get a percentage of that piece right there, which is awesome. Rental income is coming up now. You guys know that we do have rents on all the planes now. The company pays the rent, but, or I should say, the group pays the rent when you fly because you're getting your pilot's fee right off the top. But this helps us because other non-group members are flying these planes to the tune of $85,000, which is awesome. Although some of this is probably rental from our group too, but it's money back in the pocket. And FBO operations, 90,000 almost, so this is awesome. Our FBOs are profitable for sure, which is really good. And we appreciate you guys flying them. So if you take a look at it, we spent a lot of money. You know, we bought a bunch of FBOs. We bought a plane. Where's aircraft sales? Yeah, we bought a couple planes actually. We bought the Baron and we bought a chopper. Go over those in a second this month. So we're paying for all that. Right now we've got 222,000 left to go, and we'll break even for the month, which means we'll cover all our spending, which is awesome. This is kind of a weird number. It's not really a balance sheet number, but they do kind of weird. It's kind of a weird financial statement. But in any event, group is doing really, really well, and it's awesome. So let's take a look at our aircraft. And we've got the 1900D is generating a lot of rent revenue for us in Charlotte, non-members renting it, which is really good. Baron that we lease. We've got another Baron that we bought that we have at it's at N40 now, but people have been flying that. You can see here, even non-members are flying it, but we're getting some nice flying action on that plane. In the Northeast, we've got the King Air up in near Vancouver. The Bell 407 is a new plane that we bought this month, and that's actually Sapper and Crash put a lot of money into that one, and we chipped in a third of that, so this plane is available part of the group too. Right now it's stationed in IDO1, which is in Idaho, and in the BTM network, so you can go out there if you want to fly a nice chopper. Go check that out. 2 Skyhawks. We've got 3 Caravans, 1 that we're going to be returning. We're going to be returning this one right here, because we really don't need 2 208s at BTM, so we're going to be getting rid of that guy. We got the 404 from Sapper. We got the SR20 in the Northeast for me, and then the AFM guys, the Advanced Flight Modeling developer, Coop 1019, who's actually a member of our flying group. He donated the lease, or I should say, gave us the lease, the free lease on the Mooney, which right now is in St. Louis, I believe, and we've got to move that. We're going to probably move that to the Northeast, so might want to enlist someone to move that for us. So we have nowhere near the planes that Snack Air has. I think Snack Air has got to have 50 planes. I don't know, something like that. But we're getting there. We're getting there. So a nice amount of planes. A couple of which that we own. Having some buffering issues. Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe refresh. Maybe that'll help. I'm not sure. All right, so that's the planes. As far as our flight log goes, you can see a lot of activity, even today, but yesterday a lot of activity. Some really good flights. And take a look at the standings. This was as of a couple of days ago. Erasmus leading the way. Okay, MK42. We just showed you right here on the sorry, 8442. Good morning. How you doing? to show that you did a couple of flights. Is this? I guess this is in the Far East or whatever. Some nice flights with the 1900D. Love that plane. Love that plane. But this is where we stood as of, I think this was as of Friday, so this has probably increased a bit. So right now, Era's number 1, Sappers number 2, and Flyboy number 3 as far as the contest goes. It'll be 10%, 6%, 4% of that net number. But everyone's doing a good job flying. A lot of activity, which is great, great, great. So I'm working on improving this number here, which is your net, my net. Trying to find lucrative flights that are, you know, that'll pay us better, have less fees and stuff. And I think with the Challenger, I'm going to be able to help that number quite a bit. So, yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be working on. But we've got some great work being done by the folks here, and it's a lot of fun. We appreciate you guys doing it. So that's where we are numbers wise. Let's see, and that's pretty much it. Oh, FBOs. Let's take a look at our FBOs. Probably better to go here to see the FBOs. It's our network, and you got the Western Hub, which came in as part of the merger with RML Services, Flight Services. Got BTM in the center, and I guess there's 11 spokes on the outside of that. So a lot of this is a beautiful place to fly. It really is. Mountains. It's in Montana. It's in the northern, I guess the northern Rockies. I guess. Not quite sure, but it's really a great place to fly. Enjoyable. So check. Then we got some great planes out there, as I mentioned before. And then if we go east here, we're building our eastern area here, centered around 33 Delaware Air Park right now. We've got a couple. We've got 5 FBOs built out, and we're looking for a larger FBO in this area, probably, you know, a 3-lotter somewhere in this area, though it's hard to find to get our hub together here. So some really pretty areas to fly, especially down here in the Baltimore and the upper Chesapeake and the upper Delaware River. Some cool areas to fly. So some nice airports to land and stuff. So make sure you check that out. Those are our FBOs. All right, so see how we're doing here. All right, so also wanted to just let you guys know about some other things connected with the group. So we've got the VR Aviators group on Facebook. So if you want to join that, just search VR Aviators and check that out. Join the group. All you have to do is answer one simple question, just so we know that you're not a bot. 439 members. A lot of good conversation about VR. You have questions about VR flight simulation, looking to get into it. It's a great place to start and to pick the brains of some people that have been doing it for a while. So just check out VR Aviators on Facebook. And also I have a Reddit page, sorry, Reddit subreddit, let me say that correctly. VR Aviators group, which is VR Aviators on Reddit. See the link right here. And you can check that out, and some good discussion points there on VR stuff. And one of the main points is I've got this list that I'm keeping of pair planes for X-Plane 11, easy for me to say, native VR support. So as developers announce official support for VR, I'll be including them in this list, so we'll have one place to be able to come and figure out which planes are VR compatible and which aren't. So if you find out about one and you want to let me know about it, just put it in the comments. But make sure you put a link to the announcement so I can just verify the level of VR support, because we want to make sure that these are supported efforts. You know, for example, V-Flight Air is planning an update for their SR20 where they're going to have VR support. So once that comes out, we'll pop it in here, and we'll have another plane that if you're interested in checking out, we'll have verified X-Plane 11 VR support. So anyway, kind of helpful thing there. And then you've got my Discord, which is Bambino VR. Want to check that out? Just join up there. People are talking. People are talking about FSEconomy, the VR Aviation group, talking about X-Plane VR, DCS VR, any X-Plane or any virtual reality flight sim we're talking about in that Discord. So check that out too. All right. So that's that. Yeah, so I mentioned, I just wanted to say again, thanks to the Coop 1019 for donating the FSE Mooney M20. So if you've got the AFM Mooney and M20 Aviation, you can go into FSEconomy and fly it there, and you can fly one from St. Louis into the East Coast, which is kind of cool. And I'm going to be actually giving away that plane on my YouTube channel, Bambino Games. Be probably putting that up for giveaway next week, sponsored by Advanced Flight Modeling. So they're folks there were kind enough to give us a plane to give away, which will be given away next week. So awesome plane. Comes in 2 flavors, comes in an analog and a G1000 flavor. You get 2 for the price of 1 when you buy that plane. So I think it's like $35 for those who can't wait. And it's great in VR. It is VR compatible and it flies. I flew it actually yesterday, I think on stream. And it's great in VR, it really is. So make sure you check that out. All right. That's pretty much it for the update. Let's see how we're doing here in the plane. Get ourselves centered here. All right, everything looks okay. We're kind of running around 267. Probably boost it up a little bit. All right, so let's get outside. That's a little louder. So I wanted to talk, yeah. So I wanted to talk about the VR update for one of my favorite planes, the SR20, V-Fighter SR20. So they're planning an update. Still going to include their own G1000. They made some adjustments for X-Plane 10. They're saying. They posted this Thursday. It's going to be VR ready. All cockpit manipulators have been optimized for VR in accordance with Laminar Research Guidance and authors, so that's really cool. VR3, which is good. They got Shade Tree Micro Aviation Auto Update plugin. Okay. New menu control system, right? Reposition that. Okay, so that's good. Hopefully it won't be in the way of the VR button on the X-Plane menu. Persistent save states, not sure what that even means. Autopilot now designates when minimums are reached. Okay, so they've done some improvements to the autopilot. New normal textures of interior objects. Okay, so they're including the PBR rendering. Altimeter number on PDF altitude tape is now 10S. Okay, in 10S. Okay. Oh, 10's increments. All right, that's good. Landing lights are brighter. Fixed problem with ADF and nav. Correct data. Okay, fixed problem where the engine dies when you go too low, and I think I saw somewhere where they fixed the idle issue, but I don't see that here. Oh, I asked him about this. Yeah, fixed the problem where engine idle could go much too low. So it was going down to 200 RPM, so, or 300 RPM or whatever. So they fixed that, which is good. So some good fixes, including VR readiness, which is awesome. So we'll be able to add them to the list. So that's coming for the SR20. Also have a livery contest coming up for our group. We're looking for a Cessna 172, a Laminar Research Cessna 172 livery for VR Aviation. There's details on the Discord. Basically, design a livery using the logos and the colors of VR Aviation. And the winner will get $20,000 in FSC dollars, and your livery is going to represent VR Aviation. Myself and N1316MC, Mike, and I are going to be the judges of that. We're judging on creativity and design, and so get your entries in there. I think the details are on the again on my Discord in the announcements page, but I think it's going to end on March 10th, so you've got time to work on that. And I think you send like 4 high-res pictures, so we could take a look at those. And looking forward to getting some entries. So that's the plan for that. Yeah, so so also Sapper, who's one of our members and one of our flyers, and actually was one of the founders of RML, who merged in with VR Aviation. He's having a lottery. Go to his YouTube channel, Sapper, what is it called? Hold on, I'll tell you in a second here. I don't have it handy, but he's in our Discord. We're talking about it, and we can. Here, let me see if I can find that. Sapper. It's Sapper17 Gaming on Twitch. And his YouTube channel. Oops. Find his YouTube channel. Here's his YouTube channel. There's his YouTube channel. He's got a video on there that explains the lottery. So basically, he won my 10,000 subscriber giveaway on my YouTube channel, where he got the Aerosphere Seminole with G1000 in it, and he got a copy of XP Realistic and a copy of Plane Command. And he already has Plane Command and XP Realistic, so he thought that he would give those away in a lottery, which he's running. You could buy a ticket for, I think, 5,000 FEC dollars. And the winner, I think 2 winners one's going to get each. I can't remember how he's doing it, but check out that video, and you can sign up for that lottery and win yourself a copy of XP Realistic and Plane Command. Plane Command, a necessary plug-in for VR. Be able to talk, be able to basically speak commands to the plane, makes it so much easier in VR. So check out his video on how to enter that. And so that's a cool thing, and we appreciate Sapper doing that. All right, so I wanted to take a look at a new plane that's coming out that I've heard about last week. The Fbos Diamond DA60. This thing looks really cool, and they're planning to have VR compatibility, which is really awesome. But flight model by X Aerodynamics, closely matched real performance of the real deal. Fully integrated G1000 from Laminar, which is great. 3D cockpit, high resolution PBR, 4K, Fmod high quality sounds, simulated oxygen system, ice protection, MD302 coded standby altitude module, etc., etc. for X-Plane 11. Take a look at some of the pictures. It looks like an awesome plane. Another GA jet, or sorry, GA prop plane. Well, looks nice, man. I love these planes with the open feel to the cockpit with a lot of glass. I tend to like the pictures of the cockpit. Pretty cool. So I'm not sure. I think in March, sometime in March, this thing's coming out from Fbos. So usually have nice planes, but VR ready. It's their first. It'll be their first VR plane, which is cool. And we'll be adding this one to the list. Nice looking plane. 3 seats across the front? Really? Is it it's 3 seats. What? That's weird. Why is there 3 seats like that? Oh, that's the back seats. I'm sorry. I was like, why is that? Kind of look weird. It's kind of a weird angle, like, because you don't see the front seats. So it's got 3 seats in the back. So it's a 5-seater. Detail. Look at the detail. Awesome. Nice looking plane. Diamonds. Diamonds will have that really nice shape to them. A sleek bird type shape. Airbus Diamond DA62. There's the Airbus menu system, which are usually pretty damn good. And that's what she looks like. Pretty awesome. Same things here. So I just wanted to let you guys know about that if you didn't see that new plane coming out. It's pretty cool. All right, so I'm going to be doing a settings video. I talked about this the other day, but I'm doing a settings video for VR3. I've been waiting and waiting. I had one up there for a while, and I took it down because it was no longer relevant. As you guys know, the early days of XP VR, X-Plane VR, which is early days, it's only been like 2 months. But there were a lot of gyrations about settings, and we all went through different gyrations about settings. So I wanted to update, and I actually had a settings video up for a while, and it became irrelevant because I changed the way my system was configured. I think when actually before VR2 came out, just through experimentation and stuff. So I'm going to put out a video on my settings. It's going to be real simple. Settings, how I have things set up for VR3, 11.20 VR3, which is probably going to be a little different than VR4, but when VR4 comes out, I'll probably do another video. Because not everybody's going to run that right away. But VR3 is pretty simple setup. Okay, I don't use any Fly with Lua. Fly with Lua is completely disabled on my X-Plane. I found that running that script, running that plugin, caused problems for me. Now I haven't really gone back and tried it with VR3. I had it with VR1 and VR2. So I may go back and try that with VR3. We shall see. But I really haven't had any need to use it because I've had very smooth simulator performance and absolutely no judder since I upgraded to the VR3 release. So I'm not using Fly with Lua, which means I'm not using the 3J FPS script at all. I'm using super sampling at 1.9. Using the Oculus debug tool. I can do 1.9 because I have a 1080 Ti. If you don't have, it's going to depend on your GPU. If you've got a less powerful GPU, you don't want to crank your super sampling up that high because you'll, just not good to do. You don't want to overtax your GPU. I run at 1.9 with X-Plane in VR, and my GPU runs around 40%, so I got plenty of space. And I could run it at 2.0. For some reason, I just want to run it at 1.9, so that's where I run it. I've got ASW, which is asynchronous space warp, which is Oculus algorithm for filling in frames to make sure your headset is getting 90 frames per second from the application. I've got that set to auto in the debug tool. Now, I'm not sure if Laminar monkeys with that at all, if they're basically turning it off or they're whatever, but I have it set to auto. And again, smooth performance. On the X-Plane side, I've got visuals at high. I've got textures at medium. I've got world objects at medium, reflections at minimal, and visibility, I think I'm at 40 miles. And I played with that because I do like to have as long a visibility as possible, but I think I've got it at 40 miles. And as I said, it performs very well with pretty much, well, actually every plane, including the Quest Kodiak, which I had major problems with VR1. So those are the settings I've been using, and it's real simple. Oh, the other thing is on the Steam VR side, I've got no super sampling there, and the two async or asynchronous, the similar thing to Space Warp, whatever the Steam VR's is, I have that turned off. So basically, Steam VR is doing nothing except just being there as an API for the Rift into X-Plane 11 for now. Everything's being handled on the Oculus side for me. And it's been working great. Any plane. Here's a payware plane with a lot of systems, and as you can see, real smooth simulator frames and non-judder performance, which is what we want. So now, ever since I've gotten to these really clean configuration setups, now I'm back into the joy of flying, which is awesome. I probably should start to descend here. So let me go to see where altitude is going to be pretty low here, 80. So I'm going to go down to 3,000. So we've got 31 minutes. Altitude 3,000.
Altitude 3,000 feet.
And I'm going to take her down at 1,500 feet per minute. And this is where you save fuel, because you can cut back on the throttle and the plane just comes down. You're burning like hardly any gas. See the coast of Florida right there? We're almost done. There's Lake Okeechobee. Look at that. Wow. That looks awesome. It looks awesome in VR. See the clouds from the ortho? That sucks. Lake Okeechobee's huge. See, there's the southern tip of Florida down there. Miami's back down there. So we're coming into Vero Beach up here. And right there would be Port St. Lucie, where the Mets play. All right, so we're going to bring it down to 3,000, and we'll just lower this. I could actually bring the throttle all the way down. And she'll just come right down. And once we get down to our lower level here, we'll be just crank her up to about 250 until we get into our approach. Port St. Lucie right down there. Lake Okeechobee. Pretty wild. The barrier islands of Florida right there. I guess Jupiter's probably around there somewhere. So anyway, that's the idea behind my settings. Keep it simple. I figure the less things running, the better. It's just my philosophy. Some people may not agree with that. Some people may want to fly with Lua. They have different setups, different CPUs or whatever, and they need to use it. Or Project Lasso, whatever. That's fine. I don't feel I need to do any of that stuff at this point. Maybe I was thinking actually about Project Lasso. Maybe that'll get me some better performance out of the 6700 CPU. But I'm just going to stick with what I got for now. We'll run VR4 when that comes out for a little bit, see how we do there, and we'll take them from there. Again, trying to keep the idea of keep it simple, you know. Look at that. I mean, this is the thing about VR. Hey, let's go back into the cabin. I can leave the plane here on our own. Well, actually, I could do this. There's the cabin. Isn't that beautiful? Wouldn't you like to be sitting back there? It's gorgeous. Pretty nice, huh? Should go on this side over here. It'd be easier just to do this. Look at that. Pretty cool, man. You feel like you're sitting in a plane. It's like you're sitting in a freaking plane, man. Everything's three-dimensional. You can almost reach out and touch it. I mean, it's, you know, it's drawn. You can see that it's drawn and it's not real, okay? But you take that away from it and you feel like you're sitting in a plane. This is awesome. Like you're looking out the window of a plane in 3 dimensions. Pretty damn cool. Every seat is first class, Roger Dodger. You're right. It's beautiful. It even has a bathroom. Let's go back there again. Oops. Oops. Show you the restroom. We go back here. There's the restroom. Look at that. And that's kind of a weird thing. Like, you look in that mirror in VR and you can see like a window, and it's kind of weird. But this is the restroom.
Sync rate. Sync
Oh,
rate.
let me get back in the cockpit.
Overspeed. Overspeed.
What the hell?
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
What happened here? What happened? Okay. Autopilot on. Autopilot on.
Autopilot already off.
Autopilot on. Autopilot on.
Autopilot on.
Somehow autopilot came off there. That was weird. See that? You go messing about in the back of the plane. This is what happened the last time. I must have hit the, I know what it is. I probably hit the trim button, the elevator trim button, and it turned off the autopilot. For those of you who watched the stream last weekend, when I was flying the B1900D and I was showing a product, I inadvertently pushed the throttle up and I cooked both the engines and ended up subsequently crashing the plane, which was not cool. But there was a close one. Get her back on track here. Yeah, so make sure if you're interested in FSEconomy, consider joining the VR Aviation group. A bunch of great people, part of that group. Just go on FSEconomy, search all groups, and just search for VR Aviation. Hit the join button, and we'll get you in. The only thing we ask is that you fly at least one time per month for the group. And hopefully you'll fly more than that, but one time a month would be nice. There's an airport down there. Definitely got ortho in Florida, that's for sure. All right, get her back on track here. Yeah, that was close, man. That's what happens when you go mucking about in the cabin when you should be flying a plane. They should have some feature where you can lock the trim so it doesn't disengage the autopilot, and you have to unlock it so that it will disengage it. You know what I'm saying? So like if I'm flying, walking about in the plane, well, I guess it would really only be an X-plane thing, but anyway, just thinking out loud. Well, you can see the tiling, like the different shades of tiles. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, I mean, thousands of tiles, actually. Making that up. All right. We're back flying okay here. Getting that plane back on course. We are, where are we? We're over Sebastian. We've got 27 minutes to go. Plenty of time to get down. Actually going to slow the rate of descent here a little bit, so let's just go to 1,200 feet. Have any of you guys tried flying the Challenger in VR? And if so, what do you guys think of it? Doesn't that look awesome? I was watching this video made by Mr. Aviator 101, Josh, I forget his last name, and he made a video on Premier One Driver, who's another aviation YouTuber, and he said there's nothing like watching a plane cut through the air, and he's so right. It's such a cool vision to watch a plane, even in a flight sim like this, just cutting through the air. You know, something that is so unnatural, this multi-ton vehicle being propelled through midair is just a really, really cool thing to view. In simulation, let alone real life, right? I mean, in real life, it's really cool. In fact, in this video, they were flying in formation. They had two Premier Ones flying in formation. This guy, Premier One driver, was a jet pilot in the National Guard. So the guy's like, totally skilled. And he and this other guy were flying Premier Ones and a Bonanza were all flying in formation. It's a pretty cool video if you want to check it out. Mr. Aviator 101 is on that channel. But it was really cool. Some nice sunset shots. But watching those three planes or actually 2 planes, because it was from the view of another. It was pretty damn cool. So that's the Challenger cutting through the air. Maybe we'll make this an evening landing. Let's do that. Let me go to flight configuration, time of day. Let's bring it to like, yeah, that'll be good. That's a little late. Hold on. There you go. That's cool. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. That is cool. Looks better that way with the sun on it like that. That is nice looking, man. Check that out. That is so cool. Looks awesome. Challenger will be the next in your list. Okay, yeah, still learning the B29. Yeah, the 1900D. 1900D is a good trainer for this because it's, you know, it's a heavier plane that you have to, you know, you got to land and stuff. So it's a good trainer for this. It really is. I flew the B-19. I think I've got like 140 hours flying that plane in X-Plane VR. And that really was, I think it was good training for this plane. See, we don't burn a lot of fuel when you're coming down here. Look at that. Look how slow that fuel quantity is ticking. There's 2158, 2156. Still 20. That's 2156. 20. That's 2 gallons right there, and you're just flipping through the miles here, which is great. So we'll get a little bit of evening landing here with into some lights. Would be kind of cool. All right, I want to go too slow, so I'm gonna throttle this up. Highly recommend this plane. I really do. It's definitely added to my favorites list. The SR-20, V-Flight Air SR-20. This plane, I love that AFM Mooney M20R. It's a great plane. I like the PC-12. Once you get the clicking fixed, and there is a way to get the clicking fixed. Thanks to Quasme, one of our members. And I like the B-1900D. Those are my favorite planes to fly, for sure. Oh, and I like the Seminole, the G1000 Seminole by Aerosphere. That's a cool plane too. But this one is definitely added to the list. Got the sun setting there. All right, coming down to our flight level, which is going to be 3,000. I know that's kind of low.
Destination ATIS is 125.275.
Thank you. Got 27 minutes. Now this plane does have onboard checklists. You go to this dude here, and you can go to checklist, and that brings a checklist up right there on the MFD, and I could cycle through that. Oh, that's not what I want. What is that? That's climb. And then you can go to 18,000 feet. That's transit. We're a lot higher. There's approach. Okay. So it does have checklists for everything. And we'll be getting into, I want to be getting into using those. Even though it's a little clunky to use it in VR because you have to keep switching back and forth between where it is and reading it. So that's the one thing that's a little clunky. In 2D, you can bring this up on the display and do it, which is probably the way I'm probably going to do it. It just makes it a little easier to do it that way. Oh, so one other thing I wanted to talk about was I think I'm not sure if I spoke about this yet. So on my YouTube channel next week, I'll be putting up a video to give away the AFM Mooney M20R Ovation 2 and 3. You get 2 planes for, I think I talked about this already. So look for that video on Bambino Games on my YouTube channel. Thanks to AFM for sponsoring that. We'll be giving that plane away, which is a $35 plane. It's a great plane to fly, a great plane in VR. It has excellent... it's a study level plane, let's put it that way. Even the fuses work in it, which is really cool. So we'll be checking that out next week. If you guys have any questions on VR, or explain VR, or how it relates to VR flight sims, just hit me up on my Discord, or just hit me, whisper to me on Twitch. I hate that they call it whisper. It kind of sounds weird. Just call it IM. Just IM me on Twitch or on Discord. Either way, or if you want to put it in the comments on the YouTube videos, we can do it that way too. Always happy to help answer questions about virtual reality and flight simming, or virtual reality in general. I've got a lot of experience with it. I've been involved with VR for probably close to 2 years now, so I can help most people if they've got questions about it. So always happy to help. So make sure you hit me up on that if you have questions, all right? All right, so we're getting close here. Coming down to 3,000. Landing at pretty close to sea level, so we'll probably come down a little bit even further. And now that we have this plane in the U.S., be looking to make some nice bank with it for the VR Aviation group. Be able to do the FBO runs if we open up a new one with it. And we also have Megaphone, who's part of our group. He's got a Challenger too, so he actually flies flights and stuff for us. But now that I've got one, it'll hopefully help the group out. I'm not sure if I'm going to rent this plane out or not. I think I might just keep this one for me. Because, the rentals on it are only like around $800 an hour. And, I can you could do like 1 or 2 flights a week with it and do like a cargo flight, and you can make a, 50, if you do 2 flights or 3 flights in a week, you can make like 50K with it, which is enough to cover its monthly expenses and then some. So I think I don't think I'm going to rent this one out. I think I'm just going to keep this one for me. Keep the hours low on it, Hard to get, though. There's not a lot of these planes for sale on FSEconomy. I think there's only one right now at 1.3. I got it for 1. What happened was the guy who had it one up for 1.3, he originally had it up for like 2 something, which is ridiculous. I think he was trying to take advantage of, people that might be desperate to get one. And then he changed to 1.8. And then 1.3, and then this one came out for 1.1. Both of them were in South America. And so I decided to buy this one for 1.1. Not a lot of these planes in the game. I think there's only 60 of them in FSE when I counted them up. So maybe a little over 60. But like I said, it's a really, really good plane for cargo. 3,500 pounds, 4,000 pounds is probably the sweet spot, somewhere around there. You could fly at about 600-700 miles and make a nice buck on it. So that's how I plan to use it in FS Economy. Definitely not really a passenger plane. Only 8 passengers, so you really can't make enough for it. I mean, in a pinch, you can do it. You're going to go from one place to the other to pick up cargo, but it's a cargo plane. And it's fun. I found a way using FSC Flight Planner to figure out how to find good cargo runs. So got a little secret on there that I use to do that. And once in a while you find a real big one that, you know, you can take for like a, you know, oceanic, like a coast to coast kind of thing. And, you know, some are like $60,000-$70,000 jobs that you can fly across the country, come make a couple of gas stops. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. FSC is great. You know, FSC, I had someone ask me on the Facebook group the other day, you know, what is the advantage of being part of the VR Aviation group? And I kind of struggled with an answer, you know, and I was like, well, there's no advantage, right? And I think it was Crasha Destel that said this. It's 3 things, right? Aviation, basically, FS Economy brings community. It adds an interest level to, you know, to flying, and it's fun, you know. It gives you a purpose to fly your sim. And being part of an aviation group, a group, you know, an FSC group, allows you to meet some new people, you know, be part of a team, that kind of thing. I mean, there's no advantage. It's more of a finding a way to take your hobby, which is flight simulation, and make it more fun. And that's what it's all about. And that's kind of why we started, or I started the VR Aviation group. And it was good that we merged with the RML, because that basically gave us a bigger network and a lot more people and stuff like that. So in any event, if you're interested in FSC, check it out. If you're interested in being part of a group, check out our group, VR Aviation. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, lively discussion on Discord, which is really cool. But not a lot of lively discussion today in chat. You guys all sleeping? Maybe no one had. Did you guys have your morning coffee, your Sunday morning coffee? You guys haven't been saying anything. Find new places to fly. That's the other thing he said, right? New places to fly. Like, I found this place, Telluride, Colorado. Telluride. It's a really, really cool airport. It's on this plateau in the Rockies in Colorado. I've actually never knew about it until I was watching that show Airplane Repo on the Discovery Channel, and they flew in there. And I built the ortho up for it, and I did some pattern work in there the other day. And it's a really cool place to fly. You're like in between these mountains, and it's on this plateau, and it's new places to fly. Like I found, like, flying back from Brazil on this journey, airports that I had never been to before, and I had never flown in South America on X-Plane before. And just the areas, like, there was this one airport, it seemed like it was in the Amazon. It was cut out of the trees, and it was like kind of difficult to get to, and it was a difficult, kind of a challenging landing. It's all, you know, it just makes it more fun. You know, it gives you a reason to fly somewhere, and it makes it more fun. So yeah, interesting new places to fly. FS Economy is awesome. I mean, it's got its, you know, it's got its quirks. Like, it needs to be, you know, it needs some updating. It's a little archaic, as we all know. I'm going to fix my view here, center my view. But we kind of, you know, we live with that stuff because it is so interesting, so. All right, we got 69 miles to our, I'm going to boost this up a little. They got plenty of gas. Kind of tiddling along here. Guess we'll have to clear customs because we're coming from, I guess it was San Salvador. All right, there we go. Let's get to let's be up there like close to 300. You know, we have plenty of time to slow down. That's a cool view. Look at that sunset. Let's see what that looks like from the outside. That's cool. Check that out. That's pretty cool. I love this livery, though. I might have to hack this livery for VR Aviation. We'll see. Hulk Unleashed, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate it. Hello to you, too. Thanks for joining, man. Hulk, are you into VR Aviation, or are you just checking it out, interested, or just curious? Just checking it out. Okay. Do you fly X-Plane 11? I can tell you what you see is two-dimensional, but what I see is three-dimensional. Like when I look at this dial right there, that tune dial, it actually looks like I could grab it and touch it and turn it. Just pretty cool. Oh, you have this plane. Awesome. Well, this plane is really cool in VR, I tell you that. It's like you're inside the cockpit. It's like you're inside the cockpit. Like I could reach out and touch everything in this cockpit, which is a cool thing about virtual reality. See back there, I'm not sure if those fuse panels work back there. I never tried monkeying them. You can see a really nice detail in the cabin here. Yep, I do own this for FSE. I just bought it last week. I saved up. I flew my butt off in a PC-12 and a B1900D, and I made $1.1 million, and I bought the plane. Yep. So now I bought it in Venezuela. No, not in Venezuela. I bought it in Brazil, and I'm flying it back. I've been flying it back from Brazil, finding different cargo jobs. I think I made close to 100. I think it was like $150,000 in cargo jobs, bringing it back to the U.S. And now this is my first time coming back to the U.S. with it. It'll be stationed in the U.S. and I'm going to be just using it for cargo. I'm not going to rent it out to start with. Just going to use it myself, and yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, thank you. It was a kind of a cool accomplishment. I know it's just the game FSE, but earning the money to be able to buy this plane now, and now having it as part of my hangar. And I've got some nice planes in the hangar. I got a B1900 D, PC-12. I've got an SR-20, actually 2 SR-20s. And now I have this plane. So I think my goal will be to save up enough to buy another one, and the other one I'll rent out, but this one I'll keep for myself. The other thing I was thinking about getting into an FSE was the financing side of it. So lending out money to people to buy planes. Or buying planes and leasing them. Doing that kind of thing. Maybe that's something that, pardon me, maybe that's something that VR Aviation wants to get into. You own Dinky 152. Fly slow prop planes enough in the real world. Oh, okay, cool. Well, that's...
Flight 209er, clear for vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger, Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
Someone just followed. Let me check and see who followed. Should come up in the chat here. Hold on. Oh, that was you, Hulk Unleashed. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Well, listen, flying in the real world is, you know, amazing compared to flying here. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. I tell you what I did. I know it's kind of not lame, but it's not that exciting. But the C90, which you have as a free plane, an X plane, that's the first plane I really flew in FSE. And I flew that plane because it's a moneymaker. And I just flew it and flew it and flew it and flew it until I had enough to buy a 172. Because I bought and sold a 172. I had a 172 for a while. I bought and sold a King Air C90. In fact, John Fly bought my King Air C90. I made a little bit of money on that, not much. And because I just, you know, I bought one, I was like, oh, why did I buy this? And then I put that money into the B1900D, which I bought. That was $1 million. So it's like, I would say, fly that night. If you want to make enough money fast, if you want to make money fast, get in the C90 and just look for, you know, good jobs where you can, you know, make a good amount of money. Oh, the Carinado Baron. Oh, that must have been an X-Plane 10, right? But that C90, it's a great way to make money. And that's what I did. And then once I had enough, I just kind of... Once I got the B1900, then I was able to really find some, you know, find some good routes that I ran a lot and make some good money with them. Airport's looking nice now with the lights. Getting into that 6:41 local time, so you're aiming for a 1900D. Well, I mean, you can buy a Challenger for just about the same price as a 1900D, but the 1900D is going to be better for passenger flying. Oh, you don't own a plane for the sim yet? Okay. I thought you said you had a Challenger. But the nice thing about the C90 is that it's part of X-Plane, so you can use that plane and make a lot of money with it. You really can, and that's what I did. I spent a lot of time in that plane. Okay, gotcha. The 19... Oh, I see. So you have to buy it from Carinado. Yeah, it's a nice plane, the 1900D. It's fun to fly. It's interesting to land. You got to kind of do that swoop move when you land it, but it's an interesting plane. All right, we're coming close here. So let's see. We got about 5 minutes. I'm going to start slowing down here. So we're gonna have one turn, and then we'll waypoint our in right to 36 right. I think we're landing on 36 right. What version of ForeFlight? It's the version that runs on the iPad, and it's the I got the basic plan, which is $100 a year. ForeFlight is so nice to have. It really is. And I can actually bring it into the cockpit with me. In fact, let me see if I could do that. I'm not sure if that's gonna pause. Let me pause this for a second here. And I'm gonna go to here, and then I'm gonna go to desktop, monitor 1. I'm gonna grab that. And let me just make this smaller. I'd like to put that over here. Pin that right there. Go back into X-Plane. Go here. Now I have ForeFlight in the cabin. Isn't that cool? See, you guys can't see it, but I have it in the cabin. Because you're looking at a different mirror than I am, but I have it right here in the cabin. Yeah, I don't, for flying in VR, for my level of flight, you know, and knowledge and stuff, I just can't justify past $100 a year. I mean, if I was you're a real world pilot, so you would probably have much more use of the higher end packages than me, but I can't justify it. All right, so we just hit the fuel quantity low. We have 1,300 pounds, which is plenty to get us where we're going. We are slowing the plane down here. I think I see my airport right there. Probably our airport. Right. You don't need it for a while until you're, kind of on your own and you start to do cross-country stuff or, longer flights. But it's cool. It's nice to have it in X-Plane. It really is. So get that a little bigger here. All right, we could probably slow that down even more now. We got to be at 210 to hit the flaps, so. Altitude 2,000.
Altitude 2,000 feet.
Let's take her down a little bit. Yeah, that's definitely our airport. Oh, maybe not. Maybe that's, no, that's not our airport. There's two lined up here. One is a private, and one is the larger multi-runway, which is Jacksonville. And we'll find out in a second here. You see... Oh, yeah, that's us right there. Okay. All right, I'm going to hand fly this now. Autopilot's off. Do I want your 152? No, that's okay, dude. That's okay. I don't fly the Cessnas too often anymore. Let's get this down here. I'm going to lower the speed. Here, I got to focus on this now. Get my trim set. Coming in hot. I'm gonna have to hit those flaps now.
Overspeed. Overspeed. Overspeed.
Gear down.
Overspeed. Overspeed.
I wanted to be slower there, but
Overspeed. Overspeed.
gotta slow the plane down.
Overspeed.
So
Overspeed. 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 Overspeed.
all right, there we go.
Overspeed.
Okay, looking good.
Overspeed.
There you go. Full flaps. Want to be landing this plane at about 120, 130, I find. To keep her from being squirrely. I think I have the landing lights on. I guess I should have checked that before I landed, eh?
500.
Yeah, they're on. It's the first time doing a night landing on this plane. All right, speed looks good. There's the trees. Hopefully don't hit a tree. We're coming close to the trees. They gotta cut those trees. You never have those trees there in real life. Here we go. Flare her up. 120, perfect. Nice down, easy. And we're down. All right, we're going to turn FSEconomy off here. Set parking brake. Set parking brake.
Parking brake set.
And I want to do a replay. So let's do the replay. Let me get my... Give me 1 second here, guys. I want to get my... Don't need that anymore. Get rid of air service. We pick up some frames. Going to change my overlay map. And hey, Sapper, how you doing? Yeah, I'm bringing the Challenger back. That's right. I'm just brought it back to the U.S. We're gonna do a let me change the make it a little brighter here. And I want to get out of the plane here. We're gonna go up the runway here. All right, that should be good. Let's go to replay. Rewinder, where's the jet? Right there. There she goes. Well, this should be cool.
Configuration. 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 Configuration.
What? Configuration? Let me put the flaps down.
configuration, configuration.
Why is it doing that?
Configuration, configuration, configuration.
Oh, I know why.
Configuration, configuration, configuration.
That's weird.
Configuration, configuration.
Let me just do this. Let me just pause it, and then we go to. We'll have to deal with that configuration thing. Sorry. Oops. Get to the airport here. Getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. Come on. Come on. Come on. Here's our runway. Oh, that'd be a cool place to watch it. All right, this should be good right here. That should be good. All right, we're going to have to deal with the configuration stuff. Sorry, guys.
Configuration.
Here she comes.
Configuration. 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 Configuration.
Look at that. Ooh, that's sweet.
Configuration.
That is sweet.
Configuration. Configuration. Configuration.
That's awesome, man. Hold on a second, dude.
Configuration. 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 Configuration.
Let's do this.
Configuration. 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 Configuration.
Pretty cool.
Configuration. Configuration.
And let me tell you, in VR, that looks awesome. All right. Wayne's Worldview, right. Oh, parking brake. Oh, right, because I was flying at the parking brake con. Good job. Good, sorry. It's a CH Products yoke. Multiplayer joint flight. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. All right, let's check out where we are as far as FSEconomy. I love doing those runway replays. Are pretty cool. So let's go to log, and you can see there 11K. So, but look at this. So, I mean, 12,000, and we netted 11. That's the nice thing about owning a Challenger, because the fuel cost, I mean, okay, someone had to pay the fuel cost. All right, let's figure that into it. Wait a second. Let's go back to the group here. Who played the fuel costs? VR Aviation paid the fuel cost. So fuel was $1,200 for fuel. So I go to the log. Ooh, that's not the right one, sorry. I go to this. So we netted 11. Take another. So we netted really 10. Okay, out of 12,500, we netted 10 after fuel. That's pretty damn good. That's why these planes are great for cargo, which is a nice payday for VR Aviation and a nice payday for me. So, in any event, that was a lot of fun, guys. I appreciate you guys checking out the stream today. It's going to be about do it, or I should say, it's going to about do it for me. Bambino here. Thanks for watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're watching this on Twitch at replay, make sure you hit that follow button and the notify so you know when I'm streaming. Always talking about VR Aviation and X-Plane 11 and virtual reality and stuff. So come on and join the stream if you're interested in that stuff. So, hey Hawkeye, thank you for the sub. I haven't seen that sub yet, but thank you if you sub. That's awesome. I appreciate that. All right, guys, I'm going to sign off here. Have a great Sunday, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.